guys, I'm making this video right now to tell you guys about a situation that I've been going through lately, and hopefully somewhere in this video, or by the time this video is over, you can get the message that you're always going to get hated against, but you got to be able to rise above that hate even when you're getting hated on for absolutely no reason. Like, it's not your fault, but people are hating on you. And I'm going to explain my situation and hope that you can apply it to a situation that you've been in, or maybe like you're even going through it right now. So forgive me if I just feel a little down during this video, because I feel like most of your life you're always going to get hated on just because of the way people are, and most of the time it's even when you're not in the wrong that you get hated on. No matter what situation, you're going to feel some sort of hate or hear these hateful words that could bother you, or maybe not even bother you, but regardless, hateful words that people try bringing you down with. And you got to be able to rise above those people and be the best person that you can be. So with my situation, we're going to call the girl and the guy, just as simple as that. And I'm going to post the screenshots at the end of this video so you guys can read them yourself. And so with my situation that's been going on recently, this entire week at school I've been getting harassed and people coming up to me saying really ignorant and mean things to me when it's a situation that I tried to avoid in the first place. So I knew this girl because we've rode the bus together since my sophomore year in high school. And I didn't sit by her. I didn't really talk to her like a lot. It was just kind of a, hey, how's it going? Hey, girl, it's good to see you. Like that kind of thing. And so we didn't really have a strong friendship at the beginning at all either. It's just kind of a basic mutual thing. Like, she knew people I knew, and I knew people she knew. So it's just like, woohoo! And we started talking a little bit more. And this was before she had her boyfriend. And her boyfriend was one of my friends. So she ended up getting into a relationship with one of my friends. Like I said, we just had mutual friends. And so that was fine. That was cool. So I used to have this joke with both of them. I go up to my guy friend and say, don't tell her. And I go up to her and I go, don't tell him. And it was all just a joke. It lasted about 2 weeks. And then after that, I stopped doing it because you don't want to be like repetitive and keep doing the same crap over and over, because it kind of gets boring and old and it's not funny anymore. It's just kind of annoying. And so I stopped doing it after 2 weeks. Well, when I stopped doing it, this chick would get very upset that I wasn't doing it anymore, and she'd take it personally and get her feelings hurt. And I never understood why, because I wasn't meaning it to be a personal thing or even, yeah, just something to hurt her feelings with. It was more like this, we do the same thing every day. It's kind of old. Let's just let it go. We all know we're friends kind of thing. And so she'd get very upset. She wouldn't talk to me for a couple days, and I'd feel kind of bad because she was one of my friends, and it would make her upset, which in return would make her boyfriend upset, and both of my friends would be upset at me. And I didn't want my friends being upset at me because they're my friends. Obviously, I want my friends to be happy. And so I would just let her be, and then she would come and talk to me, and we'd start talking again, but then she'd try to do the hand thing again. And if I wouldn't do it, the same process would go. Both of them be upset with me. I didn't like that. So I realized the only way to get them to stop being upset with me was to start out with her not being upset, in return would not make my guy friend upset. So I would just start doing the hand thing. I'd say, don't tell him. But then she would start grabbing my hand back like this. Like, she always used to go like this, but then it became a this thing where she'd grab my hand back. And I was like, okay, you know, it was fine at first, and I didn't, like I said, I wanted to end it. And if I wanted to do it, she'd get very upset. So it went on for a couple more weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, maybe like a month tops. And then I stopped doing it again. I tried just to sit away from her because I started, in the back of my mind, I had this thought of this is wrong. And when I started feeling this wrong feeling of like, this isn't right, like a gut feeling of this isn't right, then you know not to do something. So I was trying to remove myself from the situation to not get involved in that. And no one would be upset, no big deal. It's like just come up out of nowhere, spiral up, because whenever something happens at my school, all these people jump in and get involved for no reason. They take sides, all that kind of stupid stuff. So I was trying to avoid the situation completely by just moving towards the back of the bus or wherever she was not, a couple seats back, to avoid any communication and just try to stay away from her for a little bit. Well, she would start getting very upset. She'd turn around. She'd call me like an asshole, whatever. She'd just be upset with me. And so that was fine. It was avoiding the situation. So I didn't care too much. I started to be like, all right, well, this is what I've got to do to make sure nothing spirals up and happens. Because when I go to school, I don't expect to go in there and deal with a whole bunch of stupid drama stuff. I expect to go in, learn what I need to, pass my test, and set up for my future. I'm not there to diddle around and get into drama. So I just want to go and focus on my grades and things I need to pass to be able to get somewhere to a nice college or something in the future. So just to focus on what school's actually supposed to be focused on, which is education, not stupid crap. And that's when I stopped talking to her for a while, but she kept trying to follow me to where I would sit. So I'd be sitting on the inside by the window because that's where I'd always sit. And then I'd sit up on the chair like this, a little bit up, so I could look at people, make jokes, make them laugh, act like I was important. It would make me feel happy if other people laughed, and then I felt important and valued on the bus. Because then when I got on the bus, people would be like, "We missed you, Jordan!" I was like, "Oh, gee, thanks, guy." So I'd sit there, but she started coming to wherever I would sit, regardless of how far back, how far away from her, and she'd pick up my book bag, because I'd set my book bag next to me. She'd pick it up, move it next to me, and sit down. And we started talking again that way, because there was no touching at all, and I was fine with that. I'm like, okay, maybe now we can actually just communicate and talk like friends do. They don't do this kind of stuff, you know? And so that's when, over time, then maybe a week, maybe even 3 days later, she started doing the hand thing again. And when I went to do it, started the same thing again. My guy friend was upset, blah, blah, blah. So I did it back, but she started just holding onto my hand. So we'd sit there on the bus, holding hands until she got off the bus at her stop. And that made me get even more of a this is wrong kind of feeling. And so I, like I said, then kept trying to move. And when she'd sit by me, I would try sitting as close to the window as I could. And I'd ask her not to touch me. But then she would. She wouldn't that day, but then the next day she'd do the same thing again. And when I stopped doing the hand thing, she just grabbed my hand, forcefully grabbed my hand. And it started this whole big deal. And like I said, I was kind of trying to walk this little path because I don't want to get involved in fake drama. So I just let this stuff happen. Well, then she tried laying on me over time. And she tried being like, I'm going to go to sleep. And she put her head down on my shoulder. And then it became head down on my shoulder to wrapping herself around me and laying down like this. And when you have a boyfriend and you're doing that with another guy, I just don't feel like that's right. And so it all started this big ordeal. And so on a Friday, it was the final straw for me. After trying to remove myself from the situation many times, on Friday, she sat next to me, instantly laid down on me. I asked her to get off me. She did. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." She sat up. And then she started talking. She was like, "Yeah, my boyfriend wasn't here today." And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." She's like, "Yeah, I really wanted a goodbye kiss." And she goes, "Maybe you could give me a goodbye kiss?" And she moved her head towards me, like her cheek. And I laughed. And I said, "No, I'm good." And then that's when we started talking. And during the middle of the bus ride is when she grabbed my hand and was holding on to my hand. And I did tell her to stop, and I forcefully took her hand out of my hand kind of thing. I moved my hand completely, pulled. It's like the pull-out game. Pull-out game strong. I pulled my hand out. And that's when she took her hand and put it on my knee, which made me feel really uncomfortable because she slowly started to move her hand up my leg. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And I pushed her hand off of me. And that's when she took her hand and touched my face right here and started rubbing slowly down the side. And she was staring at me like this passionate staring. It's not even like staring where you're it was like passionate staring. And I said to her, "What are you doing?" And she just kept doing it. And she was looking at me, and I went like this then, with my eyes, looking around okay, is no one going to say anything? And then that's when she went in and tried to kiss me. And I had to take both of my hands in, and I pushed her back a little bit. I didn't go, "Ah!" And she went, "Ah!" No, I slowly pushed her away. I said that, a little psst. And that's when she says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I said, "Whatever, it's fine," because she was already getting to her stop, and then I was already going to let her boyfriend know now, because that was the final set for me, like, okay, I can't keep walking down this pathway of not trying to start anything. Something needs to be done about this. And then that's when she got off the bus. She turned to her friend to the left and turned to me and said, I love you guys. She got off the bus. And it was Friday. Like I said, it was Friday. So I went home into this beautiful room. And I was like, oh boy, I'm going to play Super Smash Bros. Because that's my shit. I was going to play my shit. And that's when I got a Snapchat. And most of the time I don't use Snapchat because I get too many dick pics. And then the dick pics turn me on. So I just don't use Snapchat. I still have it. I don't know why. My iPod just has it. I don't use it. But I got a bling bling or whatever sound Snapchat makes. And I opened the Snapchat and it was from her. And she said, hey, can I talk to you? And I said, sure. And she said, I can't right now. I'm with my mom. Can I talk to you later about it or whatever it was? I can't remember exactly. And I was like, sure. Just text me when you need to. And give me 1 second. My little brother's calling me. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I'm filming this at night. So, where did I leave off? I was saying, so, when she was sending these Snapchats, they were sent as pictures with captions. So I couldn't screenshot those because of the way my iPod is. This button right here, like the power button, got jammed. And so you need to hit both of these to be able to screenshot. So I'm not able to do that because one of my fingers had to be down to have the Snapchat picture still open. So I'd have to hit this, more, and then screenshot to be able to screenshot anything. So I wasn't able to get those. But then when she came back, she said, hey, can I tell you now? And I said, sure. And then that's when I did screenshot where she said, well, I've kind of had a crush on you for a while. Because that went through as a Snapchat text. And so I was able to screenshot that. And I didn't respond to that one. And then that's when she found my kick. And the way she found my kick is because all my social medias are Tim Sidey. So if you have any idea who I am and you know my name Tim Sidey, you can find me on anything. Just type in Tim Sidey and then boop, 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 boop. All these social medias pop up. It's the same name because I don't care. And it's easier for people to find me that way. Like old people from school or whatever. And so she started texting me on Kik. And so I took the opportunity to play along to have proof for my friend to show him this is what your chick is doing behind your back. So he would be like, oh, thanks, Jordan. You're a great friend. Thanks for letting me know that my girlfriend was cheating on me. But instead it got flipped and everyone said it was my fault. At least he did, and she was making up so many stories, like 4 different stories about what happened. First, she said I hacked into her Kik to send the messages, which is not even possible because I'm not going to take the time to do that. More or less, even if I did, I have one iPod. So if I was able to hack into her Kik, I'd have to sign out and then go into mine to send her one back. And then when I sign back in, all the messages would be deleted because the way Kik is. So that's not even possible. Then that's when she would say that, well, someone else had her phone. So through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, at completely different times, someone had her phone and sent me these messages. Doesn't add up to me, to be completely honest. So I'm just going to read some of the messages she sent. Like I already said, I'm going to put screenshots at the end. But she would send, Jordan, I can't stop thinking about you. I almost kissed you today. If you have a boyfriend and you tell another guy, I almost kissed you today. What the hell? Like I said, I've tried avoiding the situation, but now I had actual proof to be able to show my friend, to show him that I am a true friend. I'm looking out for him, and I want to help him because I know he truly cares about this girl. And here this girl is just going around with God knows who. Maybe it's not even only me she's doing this crap with. It could be other people, so I'm trying to help my friend out to show him, look, I know you care about this girl. This is why you need to know. Here's another one where it says, well, I've kind of had a crush on you for a while. And all this crap. And so, basically what I want to say, like then when she got back, so I went and showed people the screenshots. She says, F you, Jordan. Don't ever look at me or talk to me again. You have to go and try to ruin my relationship. So basically, the moral of this story is just me saying, I never want to start any kind of beef or drama to begin with. I tried removing myself from the situation many times so something like this won't happen and just blow up into a big thing where all these little group of friends get involved. I want to go to school without people coming out to me, harassing me about this situation. I want to go for my education and come home. I don't care about most of the people at school. I only care about my little group of people that I hang out with. I don't care about the drama. I don't care what you do with your life. I was trying to look out for a friend, and now that friend isn't even friends with me anymore because of this, because he believes her over me. And I guess that's why the expression love leaves you blind is true. But this is for anybody that is in a situation where they try to avoid it, try doing everything they can to make it not go into a big ordeal or situation, and it does, but yet you get crucified for it and hated on for exposing someone like that. Exposing a cheater and a liar. Trying to help your friend, but you get hated on for it. And what I want to tell you guys is that it's okay to be hated on. It's okay for people to crucify you for something that was wrong, trying to turn it right, trying to help someone out, trying to help your friend out, trying to avoid the situation from even happening in the first place. And you deal with it for a couple months. It was 3 to 4 months that I kept trying to avoid this situation, and finally I said I can't do this anymore, and then people are getting mad at me. So what I want to say to anybody is that's why I say you got to rise above hate. You got to rise above any kind of hate, regardless of if you're in the wrong or the right. Because most of the time you're doing right when people crucify you, but when you're doing wrong, people don't, because the majority of the world wants you to do wrong rather than what's truly right. So what I want to say is that if you're able to rise above people's hate and become a stronger and the best person that you can be, even with dealing all that negativity, those hateful words, the people's hateful actions, people abandon you and stop being your friend over something that you didn't even do. If I even liked this girl remotely, when she tried to kiss me, I would have kissed her back. But I didn't. Because I didn't have any type of attraction to her, and I wouldn't do that to someone who's my friend. So I want to say is that if anyone doesn't want to be my friend anymore because of it, that's fine. I don't have very many friends in the first place because I really don't know why. But one thing I do want people to know, and I feel like I'm repeating myself now because I'm trying to get all my thoughts out, is that rise above hate, become the best person you can be, and let people know. Tell them, say, crucify me. And that's all there is to it. Rise above the hate, and all that matters is that you're happy with yourself. And that you can use those hateful words to become a better person than you were before. So until next time, guys, rise above hate. I love you guys. And let people crucify you, because they got to put the blame on someone. And if you're the one with the burden that always gets blamed for stuff, take that as a compliment and start using it to your advantage. Because I used to not. When people would blame me for anything, I'd feel so bad. Now I don't care. You just say, crucify me, hate me, and move on, because you know you did what's right. Stay strong, guys. I love you.